The Honourable Speaker of Parliament, the Honourable Prime Minister, Honourable Deputy Prime Ministers, Honourable Cabinet Ministers and Assistant Ministers, Honourable Leader of the Opposition, Honourable Members of Parliament, ladies and gentlemen, and the people of Fiji that may be tuning in this afternoon. Bulubinaka, namaste and noya maori, and a very good afternoon to you all. Before I begin, sir, may I congratulate you, sir, on your appointment as Speaker to this august House. And with your experience and knowledge, we believe that it is an appropriate appointment, and we wish you well in these 4 years. Likewise, I'd like to also congratulate Ms. Lenore Rangerangere-Tambua for appointment as Deputy Speaker, and we wish her well as well. Before I begin, sir, I thought coming into this House that I might be able to elevate the quality of the debate in this august House. Clearly, it's going to be a big task. And I thank the Honourable Mbulitavu for taking us around the world on a biblical and geographical journey. I rise, Mr. Speaker, sir, to contribute to the debate on his excellent speech and also present my maiden speech. In opening my contribution, please allow me, Mr. Speaker, sir, to make a few salutations in the Tauke language. Nisa tikusa kana turang bale na ulu ni veli utai ke na boselao, na turang bale na tuitakau, na tunai nga malalam balabu. Tikusa kana turang na Prime Minister ni nanda Manoa, may na Manoa saka may nagorwa karua, may wasa kana turang na ratu na tuina batu, Mr. City Veni Rambuka, Honorable City Veni Lingamamanda Rambuka. Rau tikusa kana ito kani baka buku-buku ni Prime Minister. Honorable Ngavoka may nabunosa kay nakurbarua lo batu wasa kana kali bona tuina nga na turangan na Deputy Prime Minister talanga o Honorable Biman Prasad wasa talanga na liu ni Tony Bisang Honorable Ratu Chose Mberenge Mbani Marama may natena saka may wasa kana ngon turanga na roktikiwa sa bagaturanga rarang badal tsunga ay kumbuna nunggu balik usaha kay na buni balu buasa kana ngonturang na bala na tuikamba ngon maram bala na rokotin reketi na buni balu na matini tu veo kani saka na tobata pe kemni saka na ilaw ni na bose ni en bose lawa ndanda mai songe ni saka tigo na singandai sakando kay saka tigo veo meu tu da ke na bukuni nunggu bonua may nabito misa ka buasa ka nangon turang na tunraw mindosa ka nanong daw en bebo sak membalata na non robosa na turang na president kay nando talanga na nong buasa may seu sa ka tigo ni nong buasa en alomo sa ka ni bosela. Mr. Speaker, sir, I speak in full support of His Excellency the President of the Republic of Fiji and the turang na tui maduata Ratu William Emevali Katonivere's speech delivered on the 3rd of February 2023. May I begin with the following quote in this august House, and I'm taking you back to 1998, and I quote, "The coming into force of the Constitutional Amendment Act of 1997 on Monday, the 27th of July 1997, will establish a new threshold for multiracial and multi-party cooperation in Fiji. But we must not be complacent. The job has just begun. The provisions of the Constitution have to be fully explained to the people, especially the indigenous Fijians. The rationale of the new amended Constitution and how their rights and interests have been safeguarded in an environment where they have to help themselves by working with people of other communities must be understood. In fact, the people of Fiji have been working together for more than 100 years, and together we have built a country where we have been blessed by the Almighty with abundant resources and opportunities. This is our reality. We shall not grow in stature and wealth by depriving others of their freedoms. and opportunities. We must stand firm against the forces of racism and ethnic violence, fundamentalist sectarianism, and greed, which is at large in the world today. We must educate and train the people of Fiji to seek to live with the truth, to respect the law, to be worthy of trust, to be industrious and competent, to respect the religious beliefs of others, to love and help children, honor and help our parents, to set good examples, being temperate, not living in promiscuity, and as the Bible says, try not to do things that you would not like others to do to you, and safeguard and improve the environment. If we want to make Fiji a happy home for those who live in it, we must encourage and support all the people of goodwill, religious bodies, and non-governmental organizations to promote those principles, which must form the foundation of a new Fiji. Fiji is a few months away from making a historic decision at the next elections. We will be electing the first government of national unity, in which all major parties will be represented. All communities will be working side by side to make Fiji a better place to live and to give our children a better future. But it will not be easy. It will need men and women who put Fiji first and its people, but I believe the goal of political stability and economic prosperity will be worth the sacrifice. That is the promise of the new Fiji, a prosperous and happy nation. Manoa Kamikamica, dated 24th July, 1998. I decided to use this quote by my late father, who was also a member of this august house, in tribute to his life, and of course, my mother, Mrs. Esther Kamikamica. His speech, which he titled The Dream for a New Fiji in 1997, has absolute relevance today. At that time, Mr. Speaker, sir, there was an aura of hope in Fiji. That same aura of hope and renewal exists today. It calls for unity, tolerance, and respect for each other, and for leaders who are wanting to serve. His Excellency the President speaks and demands unity, and I quote, "Your government's mission is to build unity through social cohesion and further improve and strengthen our economy through sustainable growth with the ultimate objective of improving the lives of all the people of Fiji." I can stand here, Mr. Speaker, sir, and wax lyrical with anecdotes or analogies about clapping with one hand or the strength in numbers, but I will not. Mr. Speaker, sir, I will challenge this august house and the people of Fiji. Are we serious about unity? Like 1998, and as stated by His Excellency, unity is critical. If, like myself, we agree that we are serious about unity, then we cannot be complacent, and we must lean in and work together. Mr. Speaker, sir, unity starts from this august house. Sure, we will have debates, we will lob insults at each other, but we must not forget the task at hand. It is large, it may be daunting, but with God's help, together unified in this house and across the nation, we can truly build a happy and prosperous nation. Mr. Speaker, sir, together we can. It is vital that as a nation, we accept a fundamental truth, that we are a nation, that we are one nation under God. Racial and religious intolerance has no place in the new Fiji. Let me repeat that. Racial and religious intolerance has no place in the new Fiji. If we accept this as a country, if we do this in this august house, the road to unity as a people is off to a great start. There are two other significant keys to unity, Mr. Speaker, sir. One, we need to find women and men who put the country first. Second, the key to unity or to a unified Fiji is a government that listens, not only in words and platitudes, but in actions and deeds, Mr. Speaker, sir. His Excellency urges us all, the People's Coalition Government, and I quote, to ensure all initiatives, draft legislation must go through a thorough consultation process for better outcomes, to ensure inclusiveness and foster greater ownership. Mr. Speaker, sir, we assure this nation and the people of Fiji that we will listen. There are major challenges that lay in front of us, Mr. Speaker, sir, and His Excellency touched on this as well. His Excellency spoke about the need to get our economic house in order. I am confident that we will get this done. Why? Because we are in this together. Together, sir, we can. However, of equal importance is the need to grow the pie or the cake, or the economic cake. Fiji is open for business, Mr. Speaker, sir. Yes, there are few impediments to doing business in Fiji, and this shall be fixed, Mr. Speaker, sir. If we are to prosper as a country, we need to target to grow our economy aggressively. And I am suggesting 50% over the next 10 years. It is an ambitious target, Mr. Speaker, sir. But I have news for the people of Fiji. Together, Mr. Speaker, sir, together as a unified nation, we can. Over the next 12 months, we need to execute the following, to name a few. Review the civil service, perform a fiscal review of our government. The last review was in 2004. Hold an economic summit, which shall form the basis of the national strategy for Fiji. Conduct the National Tripartite Forum, which is exciting, Mr. Speaker, sir, as it means the unions will have a true voice in our country. And review the education system so it is fit for purpose and relevant to the employment needs in Fiji for the 21st century. Those bodies of work may seem daunting, Mr. Speaker, sir, but together we can. The ministry which I head covers trade, SMEs, cooperatives, and communications, and will work closely with all the ministries. The Ministry of Finance, Tourism and Civil Aviation, Agriculture, Fisheries, Forests, and other key ministries to increase the economic pie. To be honest, Mr. Speaker, sir, there are some significant opportunities out there. Energy, tourism, aviation, commercial agriculture with value added, pharmaceuticals, fisheries, forestries, and the ICT sector, just to name a few. There is a renewed interest for investment in our country. There is also the real opportunity to make Fiji a genuine regional hub in the Pacific, working together with our Pacific partners, brothers and sisters, to bring about prosperity for all. Mr. Speaker, sir, transparency and investor confidence is fundamental. We shall operate on a no surprises basis. We will continue to work on modern and innovative trade cooperation agreements that make sense for Fiji. The Indo-Pacific Economic Framework, or IPEF, is an example of a modern and forward-looking trade agreement which will evolve as a powerful economic bloc. IPEF will address non-tariff barriers and modern trade logistical issues which exacerbate the cost of doing business. IPEF is a US-led initiative that addresses the issues and challenges of the 21st century. Fiji is currently negotiating IPEF with 13 other countries, such as Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, Thailand, the United States, to name a few, which represents about 40% of the world's gross domestic product. It will also leverage public-private partnership and business-to-business initiatives, and it has an opportunity to deliver foreign direct investments and technological transfer. Fiji is already seeing the benefits of IPEF, even without signing an agreement, and we look forward to more tangible benefits in the coming days. Another novel agreement that will drive our transformation to a low-emission, climate-resilient economy is the Agreement on Climate Change, Trade and Sustainability. The act is being negotiated with Costa Rica, Iceland, New Zealand, Norway, and Switzerland, draws nexus between trade, climate, and environmental goals with sustainability at its core. In the regional context, we will focus on renewing cooperation and trade relations with the Pacific. We also aim to increase Fiji's trading volume by diversifying our exports across a large number of products and trading partners. To do this, it is vital that we build competitive advantages by redirecting incentives and initiatives to build capacities in MSMEs and including cooperatives to engage in cross-border trade. We will particularly target the youth and women in the rural setting. Mr. Speaker, sir, private sector engagement is more than ever important as it shapes the economic and social landscape. What I want is to see private sector-led growth. They are the key drivers of growth and innovation, and most importantly, address the biggest challenges facing our society today, such as poverty, inequality, and climate change. Mr. Speaker, sir, the coalition government will create a supportive environment in which businesses can thrive and contribute to economic growth. By making things easier, businesses can focus on what they do best, providing goods and services to their customers. These hurdles can be fixed, and they will be. Having the right infrastructure and fair and transparent legislation and policies, that is when we can boost investments into the country, meaning more jobs, more innovative opportunities for the people. Essentially, we will further and promote economic diversification. And when I mean fair and transparent legislation, I mean a collaborative approach, with the private sector forming the right foundation. Proposed bills that may come through, like the MSME bill, a review of the Cooperative Act, will be on the cards. And I assure this august House that those bills and amendments will go through thorough consultation and review process to ensure that all ideas are heard and considered. We intend to encourage the development of new industries, such as the BPO, green manufacturing, renewable energy, to name a few. The blue economy is also an exciting prospect, and they have significant potential to grow in the coming years. Professional bodies will provide sound advice to our ministry. Digitalization is critical and important, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, in communications, we have an opportunity to transform our country as a technological driver. We are steadfast in our dedication to bring connectivity to the remaining 5% of the unconnected Fijians, which will further enhance financial inclusion and digital access to digital services. With the Universal Services Fund, we will connect the unconnected. There are areas in Fiji where signals and access are weak. We plan to address this as well. Also, Mr. Speaker, sir, we are prioritizing the second submarine cable landing station in Fiji, which will transform the technology in Fiji. And of course, with the increasing cyber attacks, this is something that our ministry will focus on and committing resources to. With regard to the media industry, as mentioned by the Honourable Prime Minister, the MIDA Act will either be amended or repealed. I have heard the countless first-hand accounts of trauma experienced by journalists and the way this law has been used to paralyze the media. Like in any democratic society, the media must be able to carry out its critical role in informing our people. This will be coming to the floor of this august House on the amendments that we will be proposing. Be assured, full consultation will take place before it is presented. We are also mindful of significant investments that have been made in Walesi. There will be a paper to Cabinet on the need for detailed review of Walesi's operations and the future roadmap. May I be allowed, Mr. Speaker, sir, to conclude with my maiden speech to the House. In 1994, a very young man at his school prize-giving ceremony uttered the famous words of John Fritzergerald Kennedy about service before self. Today, that same not-so-young man would like to quote those same words. Ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. I challenge all of us in this august House to do the same, and I will explain why. Before I do, I would like to thank the God Almighty and His Son, Jesus Christ, for His love, grace, and blessings, which has allowed me to come and serve my country. If there has been one thing I have learned on this journey, Mr. Speaker, sir, without God, this would not have been possible. Now to explain why I chose the words of JFK in my maiden speech. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is very simple. The moment demands it. Fiji has some challenging times ahead, which requires sacrifices and the desire to work together for our people. We cannot be complacent and bicker about petty issues. As mentioned by my late father, Fiji needs women and men who will put Fiji first. I ask my colleagues in this august House, are we such women and men? The people of Fiji, our people, deserve no less. Mr. Speaker, sir, for those who do not know me, I am a descendant of two warrior clans, from Navitomi, from the Turanga Tunrau in Rawa, about Levu, and from Taidilevu, from the village of Nabuniavu in Bua. My dad's village is also one of the warrior clans to the Wunivalu of Mbau. A warrior is by nature selfless, and their first instinct is to protect those around him and a desire to serve, service before self. This is what I bring to this august House, a desire to serve my country and people well, with integrity, truth, and justice, and that is my pledge to this House and to the people of Fiji. Mr. Speaker, sir, this is why I use the quote from JFK. If any of us have come to this House merely to earn a salary or to whinge about election results, then this House is not for them. I come to this place with significant hopefulness. As a practical person, doer, and a tireless worker. Before joining politics, I had 33 years career in finance, aviation, banking, and manufacturing. I am here to make the lives of our people better by implementing actionable, level-headed policies and legislation using the knowledge and skill I have gained from the real world. Like many of my colleagues in this august House, I believe we have a duty to our people and responsibility to create opportunities for our children. Of course, it would be remiss of me not to acknowledge, Mr. Speaker, sir, my deepest appreciation and thanks to those who have supported me in my arriving here today. To my late father, my mother, Mrs. Esther Manoa Kamikamica, my wife and rock and steel, and daughter Anne-Marie, the Kamikamica, Bakalala, and Steel families, I say thank you. To my hard-working campaign team in Tailevu South, my tavales, Josephat Kamikamica, David Ravai, Mr. Usea Wangaterewa, Samson Imbai, and his wife Sarah, Mr. Sekobe Wande, Naturanga Namatsau, and Naturanga Matakibau, I will remain truly indebted. To my family in Navunia Vumbua, Unakavale Vunavitokoni. To the Momo level the Tuinandi, Ratuwina in Navuni, the Momo na Tuinawaka, Ratu Thomas Kanilangi, Namomo na Toke Vindilo, Ratu William Mbualo. Thank you for your support and dedication. The People's Alliance owe you a great debt of gratitude. To Saladeni Rewalui and his late wife, Meriseni Rewalui in Nandi, my Air Pacific, Fiji Airways, and Wangavuka family, Mr. Chovedin Balanewalu, Titile Wataki, Anangale, Lanoma, and Pradeep Singh, and the supporters in the West, and the People's Alliance Western Regional Team. Thank you for your efforts and support, and they are deeply appreciated. To the 24 patriots that did not make it to Parliament, we will not forget you. To those of you whom I have not mentioned, and anybody that voted for 454, I thank you and say, Winakabakalevu. I promise I will not let you down. Finally, Mr. Speaker, sir, when God approached the young King Solomon and asked him what he wanted, he asked for wisdom. The rest we know is history. I pray that all of us in this august house will seek God and his wisdom, the wisdom he gave King Solomon. The challenges that we face in our nation are many, Mr. Speaker, sir, but with God's wisdom and together unified, we can. May God bless our President, may God bless our Prime Minister and his cabinet, may God bless the members of this august house, and may God bless the people of Fiji. Naka.